Hey everybody, we are live, hopefully, on YouTube. We're using a brand new live app today. So hopefully the streaming is going to be a bit better today, but we do not know. Evening, Miss Blue, how are you? So yeah, hopefully the streaming is going to be okay today with the comments hopefully popping up on the screen as well. And I know we've had a couple of issues. You're late again. Yes, I am, Jonathan. I am late again, but we are trying that new... I'm setting up a new app. You know, that Prism app that you told me about? I've been setting that up this evening, so hopefully the stream is looking decent. Do let me know, though. We definitely need to wipe this phone screen, though. They should have given us 4 times XP considering a main event. Yes, so that is a little bit annoying. It's a good point as well. So during the Spotlight Hour, it is 2 times catch XP, and with that, we are going to put a luck egg on. Thanks for reminding me for that. And we're also going to do our daily adventure incense in just a moment as well. Let's do that now. We might as well put a star piece on as well, being that we've got 108 of them. So let's also use Roar of Time for the next half an hour. So there we go, and it's raining today, which is a little bit annoying. It means I will have to keep wiping my phone screen every now and again. But yeah, so the main event, the Valentine's Day event, is... Why is that just randomly fled? Pokemon could not be found, and then it is a huge Munna. Is that going to run away as well? It did. Let's close the app down. For some reason, something's going wrong there. So yeah, the main event is the Valentine's event. It started this morning at 10 AM local time. There's some shiny boosted Pokemon, which we'll talk about over the course of the next hour or so while we're doing this live stream. But there is some shiny boosted Pokemon, but also one of the bonuses for the event is 2 times catch XP, which is brilliant. But there's also a 2 times catch XP bonus for the Spotlight Hour, and unfortunately we don't stack. So we only get 2 times catch XP during this hour. So that means, annoyingly, it's not 4 times, but with each excellent throw that you do make during the Spotlight Hour, you get around about 4,000 with a luck egg, 1,000 for a great throw there, as you can see. So hopefully we can get a few excellent throws. That was a terrible throw on Chansio. Not brilliant start. All right, I'll allow your lateness then. Stream is perfect. Thanks very much for that, Ruthless. Your little logo in the corner looks so cool. Dan, make sure your spin stops because we need researches. Yes, we do need researches. I think I still need sort of comments appearing out of a screen by the looks of it. I can see them on that preview window. But yeah, we do need spin stops, that is correct. It's the weekly global challenge. Also do have a look at the global challenge. Will it be 3 times XP once it gets completed? Maybe so. Let's just have a quick look at that. So if we go down to the global challenge down at the bottom, increase XP for catching Pokemon with curveball throws. Yes, potentially so. So we need to send 100 million gifts. I've done my 30. Maybe I need to send some more gifts to help with that challenge. But yes, I would suspect that it's going to be 3 times catch XP. Or maybe that's the reason why it hasn't been boosted yet. Are we getting 2,000 yet? Are we getting 2 times catch XP already? Or is that one of those bonuses that is yet to be unlocked? That might be the reason why it hasn't stacked. I'm not too sure. Did anybody notice if it was 2 times catch XP before the Spotlight Hour? We'll get rid of some of these research tasks as well. Let's see tomorrow, yeah, hopefully. I mean, after this hour is done, we'll be able to catch something and see if it is 2 times catch XP without the lucky egg and stuff. It was 2 times catch XP, right, okay. So yeah, potentially then it might go up to 3 times catch XP as of tomorrow, which would be so, so cool. And we've also got, I didn't realise until this morning that this was happening, we've also got Nidoran, the crown form of Nidoran, and, the crown form of Nidoking and Nidoqueen on raid. So you can see there Nidoqueen with its crown form. And I think we were missing one of these. I don't think we got one of them shiny the last time round. So we will just double check and see. 3 million XP grind tomorrow. That is going to be a really cool grind. Good luck with that, Ruthless. But yeah, let's see if we can. Let's see if we have managed to do any of the Nidos. So Nidoking with a crown and Nidoqueen. So we did manage to get both of them, surprisingly. Nidoking is a little bit terrible, but shall we do a solo raid for Nidoqueen? There's a Sobble raid there. Yeah, we might as well do a solo raid for Nidoqueen. Why not? Let's do that. I think out of my favourite out of these two has got to be Nidoking. I think the blue shiny that Nidoking goes to is so, so cool. But Nidoqueen is also a cool shiny. Not to dismiss it. Might as well, exactly, Jonathan. Exactly. We might as well do it. So we're just going to go in with recommended. Mewtwo's normally a good one to use for Nidoking or Nidoqueen. And of course he's recommended Karen White as well. So I don't expect the recommended to be far off from being the correct team to use for this. So yeah, this is the first time we're using this Prism live streaming app, and the comments have definitely improved today. And it's really good in a way to be able to, if I do miss out on half a comment or anything, that I can quickly view what the comments are by opening them up in that little dialogue box at the side there. That's a really good thing. It's a bit like TikTok in a way. When you go live on TikTok, you end up with a little window where you can view comments and you can scroll back on it. So it's a lot better in that respect. But of course, there is going to be little teething problems, so do bear with me while I set up the style in which this live stream will be played. But obviously, we've got a logo in the top corner. It looks quite good. Yeah, it is why you recommend it. It is a really, really good recommendation. So thanks for that, Jonathan. Yesterday's live stream was pretty abysmal, to say so myself, with us not being able to get any comments to appear, even though we restarted the live stream. It was a little bit disappointing. And I think some of you even had problems in seeing each other's comments from what I got told afterwards as well. So it's good that we've managed to use a different software today. Definitely seems to be a lot better so far, and touch wood that continues. But a dead easy solo, as you can see. Nidoqueen being absolutely obliterated. We're around about half a timer left. Yeah, yesterday's stream was a nightmare, and we've had a couple of those over the last few weeks and months as well, haven't we? So, as you rightly said yesterday, it was definitely worth changing to a more reliable software. It's a shame the YouTube software itself isn't reliable for YouTube streaming, but it's good that we have these other softwares as a backup. So let's see if we can get a shiny. We can't. 1693 though. Don't know if that's any good or not. Let's have a quick look and see. Excellent throw on the costume Nidoqueen. I think it is a shame that we have got the same style of crown, the Nidoqueen and the Nidoking. It would have made more sense if... Are we back live? Hopefully we're back live. So we had a bit of an outage then with the mobile network. But I'm hoping it has come back. Yeah, we are back. Awesome. So if everything's displayed okay on the screen, that should be fine. Don't know why. It was a little bit of a loss of connection, but then again, with the endless amount of rain and wind that we've had recently in this area, I'm not surprised that we've had a little bit of issues. 25 field research tasks. The weekly challenge is done. Shiny Tandemals, let's go. Let's go, shiny Tandemals from the weekly research. Let's go. 377 on the Tandemals. It's actually not bad. 93 as well on the IVs. That is a really, really cool Tandemals. I'm really chuffed with that. Shiny Tandemals. I don't know if I'll evolve it or not. I haven't got the candies to evolve it just yet anyway. But of course, the chance of getting a 3-stage form is very, very small. So yeah, perhaps not evolving it would be a better solution. I'm sure there'll be an event at some stage where you get an increased chance of getting a 3-stage form or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if there's that sort of event at some stage. But no, I'm dead chuffed about that. Shiny Tandemals. Of course, a Munna featured tonight can be shiny as well. 1 in 512 odds for Munna. It is full odds, unfortunately. But it is a really, really nice shiny. You've probably seen it on the little YouTube thumbnail that I've done. It goes to that lovely yellowy colour with the green spots on its back, or the green flower on its back, should I say. So it is quite a nice shiny. To be honest, I think it's probably better than its evolution, because I don't think its evolution changes as much in terms of colouring as Munna itself. Field research tasks there, Nidoran. So as we mentioned before, it is a Valentine's event, and with a Valentine's event, we have got some shiny boosted Pokemon, and those shiny boosted Pokemon are the likes of Nidoran female, Nidoran male, and also shiny Cherubi. All of those are shiny boosted in eggs, and I don't think they're shiny boosted in any other way, shape or form. So I don't think they're shiny boosted from special research or from a task research, and I don't think they're shiny boosted in the wild. So it is just in eggs where they're shiny boosted, I believe. And to be honest, they've been doing that quite regularly this year, so I fully expect that to be the same in this event. If you remember the shiny Tadball being released, that was only increased shinies in eggs. And there was also another shiny which we released the week after that, I believe. And that again was only shiny increased in eggs. So it does seem to be a common theme. And then lo and behold, the Go Tour Kalos, they've put all the regional shinies in 10-kilometre eggs only. So again, we need to hatch eggs to get those shinies. So it does seem to be a theme this year so far to try and get people to use incubators or buy incubators to try and get those shinies. But again, I've not got any of the new shinies this year with a tab bulb and so on that have been released so far. But there will be events where it does get boosted shinies. I have no doubt about that. They'll have a Spotlight Hour or a Com Day or something where they'll appear more often, or there'll be new shinies, or the shiny rate will be increased. I have no doubt that that will happen at some stage. There's loads of Munnas here. The screen is getting very wet. It's raining quite bad now. So do let me know in the comments if you've already got a shiny Munna before this Spotlight Hour. It has been shiny released, I would say probably about a year or so now, maybe even longer than that, maybe 2 years. But we've had shiny Munna now. So do let me know in the comments if you already got one of these shiny. It's not a very nice accent throw, I must admit. He does like to move quite a bit side to side. Also didn't bother playing Spotlight Hour, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, there's many weeks where I probably wouldn't bother doing it either, to be honest. It's probably only the YouTube that keeps me going and doing them no matter what the weather. I say whatever, but obviously if it's torrential we have cancelled the odd stream, but we try and go whatever the weather. We're getting a few excellent throws now, which is good. And I think we have got a few friendship bonuses we can open in a moment to make the most of that lucky egg as well. A couple more Pokestops and research tasks to collect along the way, and we'll also do this route going down here as well. So if anybody does want any particular raid at the moment, do let me know in the comments. I will keep a lookout for it, and I can invite you, whether it be the Nidoking with a crown, the Nidoqueen with a crown, or whether it be a 5-star raid. I think we've currently got Dialga and Palkia on in the altered forms. Viperia off a daily. That's quite a nice spawn. So yeah, if there is anything on raids at the moment that people are wanting, I think Shadow Regigigas, I believe, is in Shadow Tier 5 raids during this month of February. So yeah, I can do some raid invites as well if people do want anything that's knocking about. But it of course is going to be raid hour tomorrow night, 6 PM till 7 PM, and that will feature Dialga and Palkia as we just mentioned. And to be honest, it's one of those raid hours where now their origin forms have come out, it's one of those that's only really good for the candies, because at least you can use the Dialga and Palkia candy that you earn from tomorrow's raid hour by getting at least you can use their candy, like when you catch them, on the adventure effects for the origin form. So it's always nice to have Dialga and Palkia candy for those adventure effects. But I still believe the Roar of Time and Spatial Rend are probably the two most used adventure effects out of all of them that have now been released. Let me just catch up on those comments. If I looked at it correctly, we can trade in about 2 weeks. That is awesome. Is there a fix to the current trade? Because I know that first remote trade didn't go lucky. Has that now been fixed? Do we know of? I'm hoping that's now been fixed. That must have been absolutely terrible for that first person who didn't manage to get, or those first two people, should I say, who didn't manage to get luckies. That was a thing when we first, obviously when you get to best friends, there's now a new friendship level. And when you get to that new friendship level, forever friends, you can do a remote trade with that person. Once you've done that remote trade, it will then reset back down to best friends. So you have to work for another 90 days to be able to get another remote trade. And with that remote trade, when it first got activated, the first people to get to those 90 days, and you can get there a bit quicker if you do a weekly challenge every week like me and Jonathan have been doing, but you can get there a bit quicker. And the first people who got to it did a trade, and it didn't go lucky, even though it was supposed to be a guaranteed lucky trade with that person. It didn't go lucky, which was really, really annoying, because obviously their friendship level reset. We had to do a whole 90 days, and we both ended up with legendaries or shinies of stuff that we wanted to be lucky, and actually they had really rubbish stats on them. So dead annoying for them. But of course, hopefully it's now fixed. And hopefully when me and Jonathan do mine, which maybe we can do on a live stream if Jonathan wants to do that, that'd be quite cool. But yeah, maybe we can do that on a live stream sometime to test out the remote trading. While you're at it, could you send me a gift? Don't open it because we are already interacted today. Yeah, no worries. I can do that. One person sent me a friend request. It's Chaos on YouTube. And I will send you a gift, Jonathan, so that you've got one ready. There we go. Absolutely horrible weather. I don't know how many times I can say it, but it is really, really horrible. My trousers are completely soaked. Definitely wore the wrong trousers for this type of weather. $26,000. From the friendship with It's Chaos on YouTube. I'm guessing he was part of the weekly challenge. That means we instantly jump up to great friends after doing that weekly challenge. And like I say, before I forget, there is also, that was a 4 from a challenge, oh right, that's awesome. So yeah, there is also a couple of friendship levels that we've got going up today. So if we just open those up now before I forget. We've got a couple of best friends, I believe, here. There's one. I do need to remember to send a sticker with these. There we go. So no more best friends today, but have we got any ultra friends? We've got 1 or 2 here. There's another one, and we'll add a sticker to that one as well. And I think that one there we can send them a gift and add a sticker. Hopefully they open it in the next half an hour or so to get us with a lucky egg. 2 more days for that one. And let's just check out the great friends while we're here as well. So friend level again, friend level 2, or one word would be good. 2. And sorry, friend level 1, should I say. There we go. And we got no great friends going today, so it is just best friends and a couple of ultras. We've also got a modern scatterbug, 202 CP, 211 is a hundo for scatterbug. So 202 is sort of in the middle. You can get as low as 189, I believe, 187, something like that on scatterbug. So yeah, it is a little bit lower on that. So we're definitely a middle to higher end. $200,000 there for the best friend. Should be another best friend, I believe, and then 2 ultras. If we wait for them to come through, there is a second best friend. And we've got one ultra there. And another ultra. So what we'll do is we'll catch these Pokemon that are currently around here, these Munnas that are currently around here, and then we will jump into this Growlithe. Now, Growlithe was on the Max Monday, should I say, yesterday, and we managed to get some okay ones. We didn't manage to get anything brilliant, but we managed to get some okay ones. The Hundo was 810. That was like a million XP right there. It was quite a decent amount of XP. That's correct. I think 600,000, something like that, 650 if you count that one that we had just before it. So yeah, some decent amount of XP there. Definitely worth doing it while we've got that lucky egg on. But yeah, so it was Growlithe Max Monday yesterday. Growlithe being a brand new Dynamax Pokemon, and if you missed out on the live video yesterday, it was unfortunately a bit of an annoying stream, like I say, because we tried once again using the YouTube live streaming software, the standard YouTube software, and it just failed us once again. So we've now changed to this Prism mobile streaming, and it's definitely working a lot better today. I think everyone will agree in the comments that the live stream definitely seems a lot better today, and I think the more we use it, the more we can customize it, and the better it will look on the screen, and for me personally, and also the viewing as well, will look better. So that's only going to get better over time. But with yesterday's live stream, we did do Dynamax Growlithe, and Dynamax Growlithe is a little bit of an annoying one really, because it's a nice shiny. Arcanine is a really nice Pokemon. I really like the design of it. And obviously, originally, for those who don't know, Arcanine was actually supposed to be a legendary Pokemon. It is down as what we call a Shundo legendary, which is those that could be as powerful as legendaries. But in the original developing of a game, or original developing of a franchise, Arcanine was down as a legendary, along with the 3 legendary birds, Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno. It then later got that taken away from it, so that it wasn't a legendary Pokemon, but in the Pokedex, it is still classed as a legendary. If you go on Arcanine in the Pokedex, it will call it a legendary Pokemon. But of course, it's pretty much lost that title in every other way, shape and form. So it's a little bit of a shame to see Arcanine drop down the pecking order so much. With it, at one stage it was a legendary, and now it's actually a terrible Dynamax. It's not a very good Dynamax at all. In fact, it's below Flareon as a fire type Dynamax, so not very good at all. Now, I don't know if it does get a G-Max. Hey Pokeotter, how are you? Thanks so much for joining. 695, that's not a bad one. But yeah, I don't think Arcanine gets a G-Max. I don't think, but people can correct me in the comments if you know of a G-Max for Arcanine, but I don't believe it does have one. So it is a little bit annoying that Arcanine has had a bit of a fall from grace really, where once it was identified as a legendary, and I'll show you that now in the Pokedex. If we go down to info, you can see that it is classed as a legendary Pokemon at the top there. So it was classed as a legendary in the first few seasons of the anime series, and then it had that stripped back, and it just basically left the 3 birds that we now know as legendaries, with of course Mewtwo and Mew also being a part of a mythical and legendary bunch from Gen 1. But yeah, it is a little bit disappointed to see Arcanine fall so far from being a legendary and being potentially one of the strongest fire types in the game to being a really disappointing Pokemon overall. Now it has of course got a Hisuian version. We had a different version of Growlithe and Arcanine during the Hisuian region, and they actually look quite nice in terms of different alternatives to Pokemon. Hisuian Growlithe actually looks quite nice. I do like the design of it. And I like how they've kept the shiny the same colour as the Kanto version. That's quite nice. It goes to that lovely yellow colour. So that's quite a nice little touch. But yeah, it is a little bit disappointing to see Arcanine fall so far from what it originally used to be when the game and the franchise first started. But then again, it only ever takes one move update, as you always say. One move update to the move pool could change things. You never know. We might bring Arcanine back to its former glory in one day. Tell me something I don't know. Yeah, but it's also would have been a bit odd just to standalone legendary. It would have been a bit odd, you know, having two or having three birds as legendaries and then just having Arcanine just sat there. But I suppose you could look at all the other generations. Maybe they were planning Arcanine to be a pairing with something else, you know, because like Gen 2, for example, we have Dialga and Palkia, which are a pairing, but then we also have the likes of the Registeels that are that are a trio, you know, Raikou, Suicune and Entei as well. And then we've got the pairing of Lugia and Ho-Oh. So there's normally 5 legendaries in each region when you keep looking at them. There's normally like a trio, and then there's normally 2 which sort of face off towards each other. Lugia, Ho-Oh, Dialga, Palkia, Karen White, Karen Black. You know, there's different ones that pair with each other. So maybe there's something we could have done there. Got 2 shiny glaring Articunos in a week. That is insane. Congrats on that, mate. Big congrats. Were any of them any good? Huge Jigglypuffer. Hopefully you had one of those shinies which had good stats. This is one of the worst days that I've done a live stream for quite some while. I mean, I know we haven't really had many days this year where it hasn't rained, but it's never normally this bad during the live stream. It's pretty bad. Growlithe versus Growlithe. If you want to see a repeat of that battle, dear, we'll do that on the next one. What the fans want, the fans will get. Dynamax Growlithe versus Dynamax Growlithe. Picking up from where we left off yesterday. We'll do that on the next one. Both 0-star, that is a little bit annoying, that is. But still, definitely ones you can lucky trade like for like with people. Maybe if you're lucky enough, somebody has 2 Zapdoses or 2 Moltres, and you could potentially trade one of them for a different one, so that you end up with 2 different ones instead of 2 of the same. Hopefully, that's what I did. I think I ended up with, did I end up with 2 Zapdoses, I believe? 2 shiny Zapdoses. No, sorry, 2 shiny Articunos I ended up with. So I traded one of my Articunos for a Zapdos. And that way I ended up with 2 different shinies. So yeah, if you could do something similar to what I did and hopefully end up with 2 different ones. But again, it's probably better if you do wait for a lucky trade, just so we end up with decent stats. It is absolutely terrible weather-wise. I know I keep going on about it, but it's annoyingly bad. Doromoko randomly spawning. I can hear it, yeah. It's terrible. Not good. But we power on for the sakes of Munna, for the sakes of the live stream, and for the sakes of everybody who's subscribed, who's watching. We will power on. Plus, we've also got to find another Growlithe, haven't we? That's one of the main things we've got to do. We've got to find a Dynamax Growlithe. There is one. Growlithe v Growlithe. And also, there is an Omanyte. Could we do an Omanyte v Omanyte and a Growlithe v Growlithe on the Dynamax battles? Omanyte might be a difficult one, I'm not sure. I'm not so sure. We'll have to see. Yes, let's do it, Jonathan says. Let's do it. Trying to click on the Munnas, clicking on the Pokestops instead. That's really annoying. I thought I was going to be an excellent throw there. That was a little bit annoying. There we go, that was better. I still can't click on my Munnas. What is happening? I mean, even if it's difficult, you're a worse loser of having a potion. Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, I won't lose any particles. If we can't do it, I won't lose any particles, which is a good thing about these Dynamaxes. Of course, if you remote into them, then of course you do lose more than the particles. You lose the raid passes. But yeah, if you do them in person, you can't really lose. With, you know, you might as well just try anyway. No matter what it is, whether it's a Dynamax or Gigantamax, it's worth trying to see how close you can get, even if you know that it's not going to be doable. It's worth trying. You never know, you might be able to do a legendary as a solo if you try with a max mushroom, but without trying, you never know how close you're going to be. Yeah, exactly. So you can also re-lobby, and unlike a raid, it will have a different moveset each time. So you might get a bit of a better moveset, which is easier to solo the next time round. So yeah, that's another good thing about them, is that you just can re-lobby. If you know there's a hard hitting attack, you can back out, re-lobby, and hopefully it's got a different attack the next time round. I've had to do a couple of that. I've had to do that a couple of times on Gigantamax battles, to be fair. And again, you don't lose your max particles until you've actually won the battle. So unlike a raid where you immediately use a raid pass as soon as you go in, as soon as you start the battle with a Dynamax and Gigantamax, you only lose your particles when you finish and when you win the battle. Which is a lot better way of doing it. I hope we do that on raid passes eventually. But at the end of the day, they'll be losing money if we did that. Bro, gonna catch a Shundo. Hopefully. That would be amazing if I did, wouldn't it? If I caught a Shundo now, that would be insane. I've got quite a few already though, so don't mind not having a Munna Shundo. I'd rather it be something useful. I've got enough on them already, Jonathan says. Yeah, Jonathan knows. Jonathan's sick of seeing them. So let's claim that research task, catch these couple of Munnas hiding behind the gym just to see if they're shiny or not. And then we will do this Omanyte, and we're going to use Omanyte against it. We're going to do Omanyte against Omanyte. We might be able to find a Dynamax Omanyte that we've not yet powered up, or that we've evolved, and that will make it a little bit more interesting. It's time for me to have one. Yeah, it probably is time for you to have a Shundo, to be fair. When you do drop a Shundo. Maybe it's going to be from our trade. You never know, mate. Maybe it's going to be from our trade. Maybe I will be a person who gives you a Shundo. That'll be quite a cool thing to be a part of. So these Munnas are not staying in the ball, but let's jump in this Omanyte battle. And we're going to use Omanyte, as we said. Let's type in Omanyte here. And we have got a couple of them. Let's pick our shiny one. Let's go for shiny Omanyte. If you remember, when Omanyte first released on Pokemon Go, of course, 1 in 512 odds for Dynamax Omanyte. But when it first released on Pokemon Go, Dynamax Omanyte, a few months ago, we did Max Monday. And on the second battle that we did during that Max Monday of its release, we ended up getting a shiny, which is absolutely insane. Like I say, 1 in 512 odds for the shiny. So to drop one on the second battle was crazy. But Omanyte is actually one of my... I have a very soft place for Omanyte, because Omanyte was my first ever shiny Pokemon on Pokemon Go back in 2018. So to get the Dynamax so quick was really fitting as well. So Omanyte v Omanyte, let's go. Shiny Omanyte. We need to dodge those moves though. Rock Blast incoming. That hurts, but not as much as if we didn't dodge it. Need to get to that rock move. Omanyte use Rock Tomb. Didn't hurt as much as I thought he would. Go shiny Dynamax Omanyte. First shiny was a Goldeen. Very nice. Look at that. That purple on the Omanyte just looks so cool. Do love Omanyte shiny. So using shiny Omanyte, can we get another shiny Omanyte by defeating it with a shiny Omanyte? That was relatively easy. No, we can't. 860 CP, which I don't think is a brilliant one either. So the next challenge will be Growlithe v Growlithe on the next Dynamax power spot, just up here. But we will be catching these Munnas along the way. And let's just turn our torch on, because it is pitch black dark where I am in this nature reserve. 3 weeks after you started, you got a shiny. That is very cool. I think I waited several weeks before I ended up getting a shiny. Months even. Beat that. I have no doubt there's some people who got a shiny on the first day of starting a game. I have no doubt that's happened. It's crazy to think that you've got a shiny of the same date as the date that you started. That would be absolutely mental, but I have no doubt that's happened with some people. Have we got any more particles we can collect today? You can collect 60 more. We'll do that now with our 300. Giving us the maximum amount that we can collect today. And we have a Furfro amongst this bunch. Now don't forget as well, there is a Valentine special form of Spinder on research tasks. And that research task is make 5 great curveball throws in a row. If you find that research task, I don't think it's going to have an event tag near it, but if you find that research task, then make sure to do it, because Spinder has a very rare heart pattern, only available during the Valentine's Day event each year. It may be increased on research tasks during actual Valentine's Day on Saturday the 14th of February, this Saturday. So keep an eye out for that research task. But also, during this Valentine's Day event, Furfro has a special form that you can change it into. And of course, to change Furfro's form, you need a certain amount of candy and also 10,000 Stardust. But to change Furfro's form during this event, you will get a special Valentine's Day form for Furfro. And again, you can only get that once every year during the Valentine's Day event. So definitely worth doing that if you haven't already. And especially if you've got a shiny Furfro and you want a very unique form of it, then you can change it during the Valentine's event to get it. So make sure to do that as well during this event. I will show you in just a second what that Valentine's event form of Furfro looks like. Let's just type in Furfro. And a wet screen never allows you to type properly, does it? Let's scroll down here, and there you go. You can see the Furfro form is there. And if we went onto a random Furfro, for example, let's go for this Hundo one, for example, we can change a form, and if we scroll across, you can see there the heart trim is available. So the 3 trims I normally get in my region, plus a heart one because it's a Valentine's Day event, you can use that change of form during this 5-day event to get the heart form. After that, you will have to wait a whole year to be able to get that form of Furfro. So definitely worth doing that during this event. But let's just catch these last few remaining Munnas in this location. And we will do this Growlithe Dynamax battle. Again, we're going to be doing Growlithe v Growlithe. We did that a couple of times yesterday, but I know the stream wasn't brilliant. So, are we ready? Growlithe against Growlithe. Let's go. We'll find our lowest Growlithe in terms of CP. Maybe the one we've just caught, in fact, 665. And let's go in with that. Now, the trend that started all this off last week was the Whale Lord Max Mundi, or the Whalmer Max Mundi, should I say. And Whalmer's a level 3 Dynamax Pokemon, costing 400 max particles. So it is a little bit more difficult to take down than the likes of Growlithe and Omanyte that we've just done. But we have started doing this where we take down the Pokemon we're attacking with the same Pokemon or the evolution. So last week we did Whale Lord against Whalmer. This week we've been doing Growlithe against Growlithe and Omanyte against Omanyte. So it does just make it a bit more fun and interactive. This time around, I'm not going to collect any particles as well, and I'm also not going to dodge the moves to see how close we can get this battle down to. It looks like it's going to be fairly easy, even though we didn't dodge. But like I say, that is the difference between a level 1 Dynamax and a level 3. It is considerably more easier to do a level 1, even if you haven't maxed out any of the moves, or if you've done any powering up of a Pokemon. It is very, very easy to do. As you can see there, a 665 CP Growlithe has just completely annihilated that Dynamax Growlithe that we're up against. So very, very easy challenge this time round. But hopefully in the weeks coming up, we may have the likes of Sableye on a Max Mundi potentially. So that may be a very, very different story because, of course, you can't even evolve Sableye, and Sableye is a higher level of Dynamax. So that would be a very interesting challenge to see if we can solo a Sableye using just a Sableye. That would be very, very cool to see. But yeah, we'll carry on doing that in the future Max Mundi videos. So every Max Mundi and every Spotlight Hour, we go live every week on the channel. For those that are new, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on, and you won't miss when we do go live. But there we go, 685 on the Growlithe, so better than the one we were using against it. But still, 12, 13, 13 on the stats isn't fantastic. So we've got around about 8 more minutes left to do of the Spotlight Hour, the Munna Spotlight Hour. And around about 8 more minutes until I probably drown in this weather. So yeah, it is very, very wet. My jogging bottoms, which was a bad choice to wear, I must admit, in the rain. For anybody who's used to wearing jogging bottoms, they're not the best waterproof material. They are stuck to my leg right now. They look like leggings. They are that tight to my leg. So yeah, not the best look, but I'm soaked. Should be more prepared in that aspect next time, I think. But we've got a Nidoqueen raid here. Shall we do another Nidoqueen raid? Do another Nidoqueen solo? Let's do it. Crown Nidoqueen on the live stream. Also, if your Sableye dies out, you would have to restart. That would be more interesting. Yes, that's a good shout, actually. That is a very good shout. So I can only use one Sableye, and if that one dies, I have to restart. I can't have like a team of 3 Sableyes. Yeah, I have to defeat it with just one Sableye. That'll be very interesting. I don't know if that would be possible. It would be very... Ooh, that's a shout. Nidoqueen against Nidoqueen. Let's do it. We are taking raid battles to the next level. Team of Nidoqueens against Nidoqueen. Can we defeat Nidoqueen before it defeats my 6 non-powered up Nidoqueens? That's a challenge. That's a challenge that you can't see anywhere else as well. Another reason you should subscribe to my channel. Yeah, it will be difficult. It will be difficult. Even if we were using 6, it will be very difficult, this will. But let's go for it. Jonathan set the challenge. We're going to do it. We're going to see how we get on. Nidoqueen Poison Jab is boosted by the weather. I don't know which one of us has got Poison Jab at this rate. But it is going to be a very, very difficult challenge, this is. Whether it's doable remains to be seen. Whether we're quick enough. Nidoqueen is down and out. That is not a good start. 6 Nidoqueens. We needed around the 6th of the health of our raid boss to be gone by now, but that is not the case. We've got Poison Fang, which is not very effective. Going to be doable, Jonathan. I don't think this is going to be doable. Maybe if I powered them up, maybe it would have had a different story. We have got a super effective Earthquake Nidoqueen here. That's doing a bit more damage, but we are far off from doing this challenge, Jonathan. I think Jonathan's led me off the garden path here. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to quit this. Thanks, Jonathan. Probably you'll have to come in with the next recommended to beat it. Yeah, maybe. Let's do it again. And to mix it up, let's see what our highest. So we've got a Nidoqueen at 1777. We've also got a Shadow Nidoqueen there at 1492. So let's put our Hundo Nidoqueens in. And then we will go for some good counters. We'll go Mewtwo, Mewtwo, Mewtwo. How's that? So let's see how far our 3 Nidoqueens at the start get us through this battle before we have to use our Mewtwo's. And then of course, let's see if the Mewtwo's have enough time to catch up with where our Nidoqueens have no doubtably left us in a bit of a hole. So first Nidoqueen is a Hundo with the crown. It has got Stone Edge, which isn't the best move to be using against Nidoqueen. As we saw before, Earthquake is super effective. Stone Edge is not going to be. But it is a Hundo with a crown, so that's one positive. Second Nidoqueen is the Shadow one. It has got Earthquake as a move. We use this sometimes in PvP, the Shadow Nidoqueen, hence the CP being 1492. We sometimes use it in a Great League, when I can be bothered to do a Great League, that is. 20%. It also gives us a 20% lower defense, so it should be a lot easier for Nidoqueen to beat us. And there you go, you can see the raid boss Nidoqueen completely obliterated our Nidoqueen. So third time round, we've got Return on this Nidoqueen. We've purified this one, and we have got Return on this Nidoqueen. And it's not a good move set to be using. And as we predicted, nearly half a battle done, and we have not done much damage. So Mewtwo is going to have to pack a bit of a punch here to claw this back. When we did the solo before, we used some really good counters, including White Kyra and Mewtwo's, and we only just managed to do it around about half the timer left. Now we need to do pretty much the same amount of damage with less than half the timer remaining. So can we do it? Can Mewtwo pick up from the terrible place which Nidoqueen left us a few moments ago? Now we've got a Hundo Mewtwo here. We've maxed it up to level 50 as well. Our second Mewtwo has just come in the battlefield now, and it is a dual moved Mewtwo. It's a shiny one, 96 lucky, and again has been powered up to level 50. And 44 seconds remaining on the clock. A couple more side strikes would be nice before it gets fainted out. 35 seconds on the clock. It looks like it's going to be doable. But if Nidoqueen hits us with a move now, it may be a little bit annoying. There we go, Earthquake coming in. Mewtwo is out. 22 seconds for the last remaining Mewtwo to defeat it. And there we go, 14 seconds on the clock. I tell you what would have been interesting, one more Nidoqueen in that set of 6. So 4 Nidoqueens, 2 Mewtwo's. That would have been very, very close indeed, if even doable. So very close, that result. But 10,000 XP. And can we get a shiny Crown Nidoqueen? Nope, we can't. 1746 though, that's a decent CP. That is a decent CP. You could see the Hundo before was 1777. We have 6 isn't too bad. Around about 30 CP, 31 CP to be precise, away from a Hundo. So let's use a golden raspberry while we catch this. And the Spotlight Hour is now finished. All the Munnas will have disappeared, and what we'll be left with now is the Valentine's Day event Pokemon spawns, so we will be able to see what's spawning during this event as we head back up the way in which we came. There we go, finally it stays in. 1746 CP Nidoqueen. Isn't too bad, like we said before. 1777 is a hundo, but 14, 12, 13 on the stats. Not a bad Nidoqueen. I'll take that. Not a bad one to have. Catch 5 Pokemon. That is one of the featured Pokemon. I think it could be Nidoran or it could be Plusle and Minor. Maybe. We'll do that in just a second. Sorry, Jonathan, I missed that. You got enough candy to max a queen? Yes, I believe I have. I believe so. Let's just catch his Furfrou and we'll see. Nidoqueen. Yes, I have 4,260 Nidoran candy and 1,069 Candy XL. So that's about enough to power up 4, I would say, nearly. 3 at the moment, nearly 4. I mean, I don't know why you'd need a maximum, but then again, if we're doing these silly solo challenges, maybe it's something I do have to power up one day. I don't know. We'll see. There's another Munna there, even though the Spotlight Hour's finished now. So let's have a quick rundown of the Spotlight Hour before we carry on just catching these Pokemon on the way back up. Maybe then it'll be possible with a ground attack. Maybe Hundo Nidoqueen with a ground attack, or a couple of Hundo Nidoqueens with a ground attack. Maybe that would be possible. Be interesting to see. But yeah, let's see what we managed to get with the Spotlight Hour. Did we manage to get any 4 stars? We didn't, unfortunately. We did get a 4-star Oricorio the other day though. That was very, very cool. And there was a glitch. I don't know if people knew about this. I saw a glitch online and I did it during Oricorio Day, where you could encounter a different Oricorio to what your region is, and you could get it shiny as well. So to do that, you had to change, or you had to turn your location off as you encounter the ones on the special research. The ones that I think there was 10 pages of special research, I believe. When you encountered those, or before you encountered those, turn your location off, restart your game, then encounter them, and it would have been the yellow one for anybody playing in the UK instead of the red one, and I think other regions got a different one. So yeah, it was quite a nice one. And of course, getting a hundo of a yellow one is a lot more rarer for me than getting a hundo of my region one, which is a red one. But unfortunately, no shinies during the Oricorio catch mastery, which was really disappointing. I ended up with 0 shinies throughout that whole day event. So annoying not to get any shinies.
Thank you.
So we've got a few more spawns popping up here. Nothing majorly exciting at the moment with a Valentine's Day event. We'll see in 3 months if we ban those accounts. I don't think we will. I think that's just sort of taking advantage of something they've left in the game. It's a bit like quick catching, really, isn't it? It's not a cheat. It's sort of just taking advantage of an error that they've left in the game. another Munna as well. So the event spawns, as of now, don't look brilliant, to be fair. Tarantula is in the wild. We've had that featured a couple of times now since its release. Remoraid, Jigglypuff. So nothing that's really shouting out as being a very interesting spawn. But of course, this weekend on Pokemon Go, we have got two interesting events. One of them is on Saturday, and that is the Fairy Form Enamorous Raid Day. And one of them is on Sunday, and that is the Gigantamax Meowth Max Battle Day. Both of those days, 2 PM till 5 PM for those events. And I will be doing videos later this week, maybe tomorrow night and Thursday night, or maybe both on Thursday night, to be fair, about those events, about your best team to set up with on both Fairy Form Enamorous and also Gigantamax Meowth. And also how they rank in Pokemon Go. Where do we rank? How good is Gigantamax Meowth? How good is Fairy Form Enamorous? And can you get them shiny? We'll discuss all that in future videos that I'll post later on this week. So keep an eye out for that. And you'll be best prepared going into a weekend with those events. So definitely keep an eye out for that on the channel. But in terms of the spawns currently, a little bit disappointed, to be fair. Quite a few Pokemon which I don't really need shiny at the moment. Already got these shiny, so it is a little bit disappointing. And as we mentioned before, the only shiny boosted Pokemon during this Valentine's Day event is the Nidoran female, Nidoran male, and the Cherubi, and all those are shiny boosted only from hatching eggs, not available shiny boosted in the wild or from research. Can we finish with a shiny Furfrou though? No, we can't. Furfrou is one of those which is just so annoying. Not only is it full odds, it has all those different forms, and to get them all shiny is just so annoying. But it is 2 times catch XP during this event. So we'll carry on catching things while we're walking up. But definitely let me know your thoughts on the stream tonight, whether you've enjoyed the new software we're using. It's definitely been a bit more easier for me to be using it. But also do let me know any improvements that you want to see on the stream. I think I can edit this streaming software quite a bit, so we can move where the comments appear, where the logo appears, and different things like that. So I want to be editing it in a way which is easier for viewers and more interactive for viewers. So any suggestions, do let me know. You can either join the Discord group and let me know on there, or you can put comments down below of the live video or of the normal video when it gets posted onto YouTube. So definitely leave your opinions down below on the new software that we're trialing tonight. But that is going to be it for today's live stream. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn that notification bell on. Thanks for everybody who's got involved in the comments, and also for sticking with me over these last 2 days, because yesterday was a bit of a debacle with the live stream, not playing ball really, and we had a few issues with the comments, and I know we've had that a couple of times in the past. But hopefully we're going to fix those issues now with this new software that we're using, this Prism live gaming. So thanks very much for everybody sticking with me. Hopefully you've had a good live stream, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.